Okay.
What's up, everyone? Dark Scream 217 here. With me is Windsor.
Yeah.
And we're just coming back from a movie theater which had a very limited screening for this week of Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods. And we both just came back from, seeing the movie. We're probably going to do a Skype call for, better microphone quality, and we can, better talk about this film.
This is just first impression.
Yeah, this is just...
Yes.
Just to give you the short version, we both loved it. I did not expect this movie to be that good.
Like, people who ever made complaints to this movie didn't understand what it was for. Because, people said, the action, there wasn't enough, or it was too slow for them. This wasn't about action. This was about rekindling what Dragon Ball Z is.
Or how about just Dragon Ball, the franchise as a whole?
Yeah.
Yeah. To give you the short version, if it's airing at a theater near your place and you can still get a ticket while you can, sorry about the lighting. The movie was at 7 p.m. It's now close to 8:30. Oh,
is that better?
Thank you. To give you the short version, if you're a Dragon Ball fan and it's in a theater near your place and you can still order a ticket online, I say go watch this movie as soon as you can. You're right, it did not have a lot of action, but it had a lot of comedy and character elements in there that actually held me over. Recently, action films in general have been padding it out with a whole lot of non-action. I love Pacific Rim, but my God, there was actually a point in that film I was just screaming I wanted to scream at the theater. Just get to the fucking kaiju fights. Stop building up these characters. I don't care about making more. We hit a bump.
There's too much character interaction going on here. But this movie basically was character interaction.
It was. And like I said, everyone in the theater, of course, loved this. I barely go to packed theaters, but everyone was pretty excited about this. Everyone applauded. There was a lot of cheers, laughter, all that stuff. Speaking of jam-packed theaters, the third person was supposed to be with us watching this movie. He didn't get his ticket on time.
It was his own fault.
Because the fact that this theater got packed on a Tuesday, they're showing it 3 or 4 more times this week.
It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I believe, are the showings for this movie.
Yeah.
So
on the first night, which is a Tuesday night, which is actually not really a good time to go to the theaters unless you're at the Grand where they have those awesome ticket deals. Oh, I actually parked up there, dude.
Okay.
We're driving to my car. But the fact that the theater is packed means anime fans still give a shit about Dragon Ball Z. I still give a shit about Dragon Ball Z.
The fact that this retconned GX, though.
GT.
I mean GT.
Yeah,
GX.
Oh, arrow's green.
There is a G somewhere in it and another letter at this point. It retconned it.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably go into more details about it in the transition to the podcast, but,
where was it?
Sorry, man. Don't get too distracted. You know where the food court is.
We don't want to... Yeah, okay, we'll go to the food court. I actually
got the good spot parking. You know, the spot you usually like to go up to.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I actually found a nifty spot there.
Let me try not to speed this car. Because we can't podcast and drive.
No.
That's just as worse as texting.
They passed a law in this state, by the way, that you can't text in a school zone or use a cell phone. It's an easy law to follow, so the people who complain about that really need to stop whining. It's for safety reasons.
But I'm terrible at dodging children. Okay.
Oh, no, not little Timmy.
Oh, I broke his other leg.
Not Tiny Tim. He won't be eating crushes anymore.
Oh, we're so terrible. But,
yes. Anyways, back to retconning Dragon Ball GT. They actually did something in this film. They introduced the villains from the original Dragon Ball Pilaf, and the way they just go through with this, man, they really want to push in the fact that GT never happens or will never happen. Because I think we're going to see more Dragon Ball Z stuff in the future. Didn't you say that? Yeah. I mean, the way spoilers.
This movie already has a sequel in the works right now.
All right. Well, the video is going to be called Spoiler Talk. Hey, there's a handicap spot for you.
Yay! My kind of spot.
It is going to be a Spoiler Talk vlog, so. But spoilers. We won't be seeing Pilaf and his minions getting really old soon. All right, parked here. It's getting late. I have a long drive, so we'll continue this through the podcast and talk more about it. Transition. All right, so now we're at a place where the microphones are better. And it's been like, well, not exactly a whole day, but it's been about a good over 12 hours, that's for sure. Some pros and cons. Let's get some of the things we didn't like out of the way first, because I kind of want this to be a mostly positive review, because I really love this movie. There were two things I really did not like about it, or that just really made me scratch my head. I'm trying to warm up to it, and I even talked to a hardcore Dragon Ball fan about this to see if I can just, mellow out a little bit about it. But the first thing I actually did not like is, I wasn't too big on the God Saiyan form just being merely red hair, red eyes on Goku with a fiery aura.
Like, while that was kind of a underwhelming transformation, it actually makes a lot of sense in context, because when it was explained by Shinron, Super Saiyans didn't even exist back then. So all it really was just a bunch of Saiyans giving one Saiyan their power. The whole Super Saiyan aspect wasn't applied to it at all.
Okay, so Super Saiyan, so they were probably just known as God Saiyans or some crap like that?
Yes.
Okay. But the thing is, while that's a really good argument, I remember some of the stuff prior to this film before it came out. They were hyping the hell out of the fact that there's a God Saiyan or there's another Super Saiyan form, and this film itself kind of hypes it out too. The plot of this film is that Beerus, the god of destruction, is woken up from I want to say, what was it, a 37-year slumber?
39.
39-year-old slumber. He usually sleeps every 50 years, but his and of course spoilers, his trainer Whis wakes him up on the date that he told him to, and he had a vision that he was getting a real good fight from a Super Saiyan god, and he discovered that the Saiyans, or there was actually, there are more Saiyans besides the ones that were destroyed on planet Vegeta, which I'm actually going to get to in con number 2. And so Beerus just traveled to Earth, finding all the Saiyans so he can get information on the God Saiyan, which is something that's completely new to Goku and Vegeta and everyone else. Um, and and since he just likes to destroy planets just whenever, over the minimalist of things, whether it ticks him off or not, or if he doesn't get what he wants, he'll just friggin' up and destroy Earth. So there is some tension there, and the most silliest ways possible. But when they revealed the God Saiyan, it was like, well, to be fair, I actually kind of knew what the God Saiyan form was going to look like. I thought there was going to be like 2 stages to it. I thought there was going to be something they haven't shown in the advertisements yet. But no, it did stick with the red hair and red eyes, and he doesn't even stay in that form for long. He gets out of God Saiyan mode and fights him as a Super Saiyan. Goku is completely unaware of that. And well, anyways, I found out what he looked like when we went to Louisiana about a couple months ago and saw the merch, and I was like, "Well, I saw God Saiyan merch of Goku, and I was like, "Is that what you that really? All right, whatever."
It's all about the hair color change, man.
Well,
It's so important to Saiyans.
it wasn't just a hair color change; it actually spiked up a bit. To be fair, I do prefer God Saiyan Form's design over, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I actually prefer that design
over Super Saiyan 4 from Dragon Ball GT, only because Kaiser Neko of Team 4 Star ruined my perspective on Super Saiyan 4. For those who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and most of you won't, Kaiser Neko was at Louisiana May 2013, and I went to most of his panels, and he's a fun guy to listen to. So if he has his own solo panel, if he's with Team 4 Star and he's at a convention near you, I'd say check it out. But his opinion on Dragon Ball GT was asked on, and he did not really have any good things to say about it. And then when we brought up and then he brought up Super Saiyan 4, and he said this: "Oh, Super Saiyan 4, that's a great design. Let's turn Goku into a furry." So that's design's not cool for me because he dropped an F-bomb. But the God Saiyan form, and to be fair, not even Goku himself liked it because it
Yeah,
was borrowed power. So yeah, there.
which was a really interesting look into Goku because it is like it was never really shown that that was something he was very like prideful about. Was the power I've attained was my own. This power doesn't come from me, therefore I don't like it. I can't be the strongest without help.
And the second thing that I had an issue with is Beerus being tied to the destruction of Planet Vegeta. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I thought
It
it.
it actually made sense after I thought about it for a bit
All right,
why
all right,
he
all right.
wanted to destroy Planet Vegeta.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, hold on. I'll let you get on to that. Let me explain my complaints first, then you can try to make this better.
okay.
So it was revealed that the reason why Beerus actually ordered Frieza to destroy Planet Vegeta because he had a shitty dinner with, on Planet Vegeta with King Vegeta. That's just his character. You can't give him a shitty party, otherwise he'll just fucking destroy the whole planet. That's kind of his character. um, we'll get to more about Beerus later. And so I thought it was kind of ridiculous because this whole time, this decade plus long amount of time, with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I thought Frieza just basically destroyed Planet Vegeta because he was afraid that the Saiyan race would overthrow him. And now it got reduced to I was just following orders from a god. So, okay, now that I said my piece, how does it
Well,
make sense?
it it's like this. It wasn't the dinner that made Beerus want to destroy Planet Vegeta, and it was also he essentially used Frieza. He knew that Frieza would be willing to destroy Planet Vegeta because he was afraid of the Saiyan race. And Beerus just didn't like the Saiyan race because they turned into an essential group of barbarians. The fact is, part of Beerus's character is he's not evil. He
He's
isn't actually evil, even though he is the god of destruction, because when something is destroyed, something new is created out of it. He said that multiple times, even when he was going to destroy Earth.
Yeah, he did
It's
say
like,
that.
I want to destroy this Earth, and then this entire species can start over from scratch.
All right.
He thought if he destroyed Planet Vegeta, then there would become new Saiyans that would be more on the righteous side than the ones that inhabited the planet. Even Shinron said a long time ago there used to be a good group of Saiyans, the ones that originally formed the Super Saiyan God power, and used it to fight back against the evil Saiyans. But in the end, once that all faded away, the evil just took root back on planet Vegeta, and that's why Beerus wanted it destroyed.
Okay, that totally enlightened me more right there. And in a way, he kind of succeeded in his plan because there have been good scenes that came out of it, like Goku
Yeah.
and his children, and even Vegeta himself kind of made a slight heel face turn. Uh,
I believe it was during the scene where he was like when he was asking about Frieza and his friend Vegeta, he's like, I could have given that race decades to shape up,
Hmm.
but they didn't. So I'm not letting them go any further.
Yeah. So I'm kind of warming up to those two flaws I had with the film, thanks to your enlightenment. Because other than that, like I said before, I really love this movie. I went into the theater thinking, just to see a movie with, well, it was supposed to be a few other friends, but it was just me and you. And I was thinking, a Dragon Ball Z movie. I don't know. I don't know if I can really love it, but I know I'm not gonna absolutely hate it. But also, like, while everyone else is watching a movie about a raccoon shooting guns, we decided to watch half monkey men fight gods. But I came out of that theater really loving the shit out of that movie, even though it doesn't have a whole lot of action scenes in it.
There was a lot of character development.
No, there's a lot of character development. Although the friend of mine I was talking to, he did not like how Vegeta, he probably would say undeveloped, but he did not like how Vegeta was acting in that film. And apparently, he told me that 3 seconds of the film was cut. Those 3 seconds being about Krillin getting everyone to safety or something like that when Beerus was acting crazy. Um,
Well, we can't have Krillin doing something.
God damn it. No, Krillin is not a complete joke character like everyone pretends he thinks he is, okay? That's Yamcha, okay?
Yeah, that is definitely Yamcha.
Okay.
Krillin tries, and hey, at least he got laid.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of good things happened with him throughout the years. I mean, he did not die that much.
I only died just a little bit.
His death gave birth to a Super Saiyan. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of action. There was like a few scenes where Beerus is cleaning house, and then we have the big Beerus versus Goku fight that happens at the end. But in between that, it was just it was just more of a more character and comedic elements that feel more like the original Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z, to which I'm completely okay with. Um, Definitely got a handful of laughs. I know who all the characters are since I followed this series. It was great to see them all again, even though some of them did not really get that much dialogue, like Mr. Satan, aka Hercule. Um, but it was.
I don't know. I think his one line made up for it.
I didn't know he could heal people.
No, the one's like, there is another saying here. I'm sorry, Videl. I may be the strongest in the world, but I'm still an Earthling.
Oh yeah, that's. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the big reveal that Videl is pregnant
With Pan, which is weird because
actually we don't even know for sure. They could have retconned it to be a completely different kid. It might be Pan, but they referred to the baby as he, even though I'm pretty sure that's just a translation thing because of the way Japan hardly uses pronouns. So it might be Pan. It might not. I don't know. I like to pretend it's ambiguous until Pan is actually revealed, which may or may not be in the second movie that's in the works.
But wasn't Pan revealed at the end of Z though?
Yeah, she was. But the thing is, this movie actually took place before that ending epilogue in Dragon Ball Z. Because, the epilogue actually went even a little bit further into the future.
This is true.
Yeah. So this still took place after the Buu arc, but before that, so. And I don't know if Dragon Ball Z Kai the Buu arc is still airing. He could probably change the ending to that if he could. Anyways, another thing I really liked about this film, obviously I like the artwork and the animation.
Yeah, like people were complaining when they were seeing the movie trailers in Japanese. Like, all the fights look so slow. How come they're not going super fast like they used to? When no one has paid attention to the fact the fights have gotten way more dynamic now.
Yeah. Early the fights were pretty fast in earlier episodes, but it was clear as day that the animation was being skipped, and they were fighting in a loop. Like you could clearly see that sometime most of the time. Whenever two guys are fighting midair and swinging punches and dodging each other at lightning speed, it's in a recycle loop. It, um, it looks cool at first, but then you become more critical as you get older. And yeah, as for the fights, I really like them. I think it's some of the best fight scenes in Dragon Ball as a whole. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I thought there were fights in the original Dragon Ball series. I thought they were way more exciting, way more fun than the ones in DBZ. Especially Goku versus Tien in the World Martial Arts Tournament. The big finish there was pretty awesome. Um, and I also like the fact that the fights were more melee focused. There was still a bunch of energy attacks, but they didn't really spam it all over the place.
I like the fact how all of a sudden when Beerus started using energy attacks, Goku's like, wait, we can use those now?
And then he uses his Kamehameha, but then he misses. Oh, I like how he trained by on King Kai's planet by throwing the Kamehameha on his planet, then circling around and him trying to deflect his own attack. That was pretty fun.
I feel sorry for Genkai. He's always having his
Oh
entire
yeah,
planet explode.
in the beginning of the episode, his planet got freaking wrecked. Uh, Speaking of, in the beginning of the film, I liked when King Kai was explaining who Beerus was to Goku's. Now that he's gotten curious, they decided to take a drive in his car on this one and only road. If anyone's seen Dragon Ball, they know that King Kai's planet's just a small planet with a hut and a little road and a tree, and they're still driving. And they actually show an establishing shot of them driving in the car, and they're still going in a circle. All right. So yeah. Also, there were some CG moments in the film too, but CG doesn't bug me. Of course, there's going to be a lot of anime snobs turning their fucking nose on that, especially since Sailor Moon Crystal came out.
Like, CG in shows at times is not a bad thing, as long as it's good CG.
Yeah, as long as it's not Transformers Cybertron.
Like, it doesn't bother me anymore. I know Toei's doing this a lot more now.
Yeah, they are.
A lot more.
Yeah.
And it does save money where you can, and I understand that. But I don't hate it.
Damn it either. Let's see what else I put on there. I put down great voice acting. Well, the cast of Dragon Ball Z Kai come back. Obviously, Sean Schemmel as Goku, Chris Sabat as Vegeta and Piccolo. I think Kyle Aber voices Teen Gohan or Adult Gohan or Gohan who's not a kid. I definitely like Beerus' voice actor, who I need to look this up. I think it's Jason Douglas, the voice of El Palazzo from Excel Saga. Uh, Definitely enjoyed his voice work. There was also some really really good lines of dialogue here. I think my favorite one is when Beerus was showed up on Earth and him and Vegeta meet. Bulma shows up. By the way, this is all happening at a party celebration. It's Bulma's 38th birthday party.
38's old.
38's too old. Shut up, Oolong. But anyway, she sees Beerus, is not completely surprised at the fact that he kind of looks like a purple Anubis, nor is his flamboyant looking mentor there. I guess it's because she's seen so much stuff in her life, it just doesn't phase her anymore. But she's like, oh, is this a friend of yours, Vegeta? Well, yeah. Hey, everyone, Vegeta has friends. Isn't that weird? uh, also, what really surprised me, and I thought this was going to be something that would turn for the worse. I was face bombing when they showed up. But Emperor Pilaf and his goons are back. And what they did this time, boy, first off, when I first saw this, they were really concrete in the fact that Dragon Ball GT is retconned.
Yeah. I just find it so ironic because
Yeah.
them showing up looking how they did basically explained that somehow they got a hold of the Dragon Balls when Goku and them weren't paying attention and made a wish.
And the wish was for them to make them God.
It's like we want youth. Okay, now you're all children. Because what they were trying to get was eternal youth, but instead they just got youth.
Dang. When I first saw them, I didn't see an aging difference with Pilaf or Shu, but when I saw Mai as a little kid, I was like, "Who the hell is that? Does Mai have a daughter or something?" And then when they mentioned, "Hey, they botched a wish," I was like, "Oh, okay." And so they're looking for the Dragon Balls again, and they're using it so they can become super rich because according to Pilaf, and this is actually so sad and true, that if you're rich, it's just a lot easier to rule the world.
You you know what's really sad on that whole thing with Mai and Trunks?
Oh yeah,
We we definitely got to get onto that
you
because it was such a wasted opportunity for her in retrospect.
I don't know. I just kind of find it disturbing because she was once a 43-year-old woman.
Yeah. It's like, oh, how old are you, little girl? 41 going on 42 this year.
Yeah, so anyways, they were looking for the Dragon Balls and they found it in the bingo prize room, which has a lot of very interesting prizes for a damn bingo tournament. But the prize did happen to be the Dragon Balls, and they were trying to take them, but then Trunks spots them. They try to BS their way out of it. And then Goten shows up. Everyone thought it was still Goku because he had the same hairstyle still, and they run. And then comes back acting all blushy like and give him back the diamond they stole, and then she runs off, and then Trunks just stares at her and kind of ogles at her, and I was like, oh Jesus. And Goten's like, do you know this woman, Trunks? And he's like, yeah, we're dating.
She is my girlfriend. We hold, yeah, we hold hands when our dads aren't looking.
And of course they had to play with this for a while, and then when oh god, and then later in that movie, um, they were caught stealing one of the Dragon Balls, and then Mai actually held Trunks up at gunpoint, which led to more disturbing but still pretty funny hijinks. Disturbing
But
over the fact that a little kid has an actual armed weapon. Funny to them because half of the people don't get hurt with the guns, and of course, Gohan has to play as the Great Saiyaman once again. Yes, the Great Saiyaman returns.
that was so bad.
And she shoots for his face, and then he just playfully deflects all the bullets, and he's like, and this is his reaction to all this. Hey, that was a real gun. You could have gotten someone hurt. Like, wow, you're really downplaying this.
And then he turns around and Videl got shot.
Shot in the leg. Yeah, a lot of moral guardians are gonna faint seeing that, but I found that to be pretty hilarious. Well, she got shot in the leg, but Dende healed her, and then Dende found out she was pregnant.
But the thing about that is, with like the thing between Nine Trunks, she should have kept that going. If she could have actually ended up as Trunks' girlfriend, then she could have married into wealth.
That is true. But then they did show them at the end of the movie with sitting on the tree on the top, sitting on a treetop. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So it almost sounds like they want to go somewhere with this. I I don't know. We do know that a second movie's in the works. I actually
The trailer's out for it already. Actually,
Oh damn, I need to see the
it's
trailer.
it's called The Worst Possible Wish.
My friend, the person who I was talking to, I might as well say his name, Danny D. He has his own channel. He's a huge Dragon Ball fan. Gets into a lot of arguments with fanboys. But I actually like hearing what he has to say about this franchise as well as Spider-Man. But he did tell me about the second movie, about the worst possible wish that could happen, and someone comes back from the dead. Uh, it does get me excited, and I heard Toriyama is even more involved with this project. Apparently, he is supposed to be in complete control right down to the last little lines of dialogue. Because I heard that Toriyama wasn't 100% satisfied with Battle of the Gods. I don't know what details those are, but whatever. But this movie turned out well. If he's more involved with the second movie, it's got to be better.
Yeah, definitely.
The fact that I'm getting excited for another installment in the Dragon Ball franchise tells you something about this movie. It really does. It tells you that I actually give a damn about Dragon Ball again. Because I used to like it for a while because it was the cool hit popular thing. Because of Toonami. Everyone wouldn't shut up about this series. I didn't have cable at the time. I didn't have Toonami until the Cell games occurred. I liked it. There were other stuff I liked on Toonami more, but I enjoyed Dragon Ball Z for the most part. And then I was watching episodes of Dragon Ball Z Kai, and I was loving the shit out of that series. And when I found out more about Dragon Ball Z, I was like, oh, this could be interesting. And then I finally saw Battle of the Gods. I was like, holy shit, this was really, really good. The 13-year-old me loves the shit out of this.
Man, that was such a hard nostalgia bomb.
Yes.
Everyone was clapping, saying Kamehameha.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I accidentally kicked the mic stand. Um, yeah, the theater was jam packed and everyone applauded. I never go to a whole. This is the second movie I've seen where everyone's actually applauded at a movie. The first one was actually surprisingly Zombieland, which was also another movie I did not expect to be that good, but it's actually my favorite zombie apocalypse film ever, uh, because Woody Harrelson's hilarious. Um, but, wow, I was rambling on for a while. What other things can we talk about in this about this movie? How about Vegeta making a complete ass out of himself?
Yes, okay, that was something I did want to talk about because a lot of people are complaining about it. Some people said that Vegeta doing that made him go backwards in character development. I don't think people understand what Vegeta has become.
Okay, that's not the example of the backwards character development Danny told me, but I remember people sharing that clip. I didn't see it, but I remember Al sharing that clip, and he was like, "I must see this movie," so he must enjoy that. I remember someone else sharing that clip, and he's like, "Remember when Vegeta used to be a badass?" That's all down the drain. But I was like, "Well, what the hell is he doing that would get this kind of reaction?" Well, apparently he does a dance to introduce the bingo tournament, and in context, it's okay because if he didn't, Beerus would destroy the fucking world. He's the only one who's actually aware of the stakes at the time because King Kai was the only person who messaged him about the situation. After Beerus effortlessly took out Goku in his Super Saiyan 3 form, he freaking flicked his face and he just went dragging through the floor. That's just an example. Um Kai messages Vegeta and telling him that Beerus has arrived, and he said, "Look, you gotta keep him amused, keep him distracted. Don't do anything that would piss him off. Don't even look at him funny. He'll destroy your planet in a second." And so Vegeta's the only one who's aware of this situation. He didn't tell everyone else, but he's like, "Okay, I gotta keep this party entertaining for him. What to do? What to do?" And I forgot what happened. Oh, I think it was the my gun scene that probably
One
happened.
one of the deflected bullets hit Beerus in the head.
Yes, and he was kind of mildly annoyed at
It's like
that.
this feels like a mosquito bite.
And he was like, I'm getting bored of this. Time to destroy the planet. Vegeta sees this and goes, hey everyone, it's time for the bingo tournament. And he does this stupid, stupid dance. Everyone in the theaters busts out laughing. I'm laughing. And Vegeta's like, I've never been so humiliated in my life. Considering the shit he had to do in the past and the other humiliating stuff he went through in the past. Let's see. Getting beaten up by Frieza, getting beaten up by Android 18, getting beaten up by Perfect Cell. Yeah, the bingo dance is much more humiliating.
I have to say, I like what it's setting up with Vegeta because he managed to outdo Goku at one point.
Oh yes. Um,
Be- go and explain.
well, what happened was is that Beerus, because he didn't get any pudding because Majin Buu was being a hog, he finally just fucking lost his temper. Everyone starts fighting him. Of course, they're all getting their asses kicked like it was nothing, and Gotenks shows up for a brief bit, but then he gets a literal ass spanking from hell. And Edit Bulma just had none of this shit. It's like, you can't just ruin the party just because you didn't have any pudding. Smacks Beerus across the face. I just love everyone's reaction when seeing this in theaters. Everyone's like, and then like 3 seconds later, he smacks her back into the ground. Everyone's like, oh! And Vegeta was pissed. Oh.
My Bulma.
That was my woman, and he was actually fighting. He managed to land a good few clean hits off of on Beerus.
In just Super Saiyan 2, mind you. Not even in it's like Goku lost to him in 3. Vegeta fought him in 2.
Is that? I can't tell, dude. I can't tell the difference between Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. So
I really
thought
don't.
I thought that
I
was
just
Super Saiyan 1 form. So
I don't know. I always assumed Super Saiyan 2 was just Super Saiyan when they're emotional.
Okay.
It would actually make a lot more sense if he did go Super Saiyan 2 from
But
that.
yeah, he got pissed. He landed a few clean hits. It even gets mentioned by Goku at the end of the movie, and everyone's getting a laugh at how that Goku doing an impersonation of Vegeta was pretty hilarious. Um, I actually liked that scene because it kind of reminded me of that one time in the Cell games when Trunks got hit by the Frieza death beam by Cell. And you remember how Vegeta reacted?
Yeah.
Yeah, he also went apeshit and just started throwing a flurry of blasts at Cell. Of course, Cell fucking shrugged that off and smacked him across the face. But that's what I thought about. That's what I thought when I saw that scene for the first time. Except now he's just a tad bit more powerful because he kept training and he fought things like Majin Buu at that point. So
Yeah, and on top of that, the thing with after the whole thing when they were talking about the Super Saiyan God form, he was just like, next time I'm doing it.
if that happens, I actually want to see that.
Because Vegeta doesn't care that it's borrowed power. It's just power.
Yeah.
He would actually use it to its full potential.
If that does happen in the next movie, I don't know if it will, but I would like to see that.
Of course.
Of course, you got a phone. Do you have to answer it?
No.
Commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. We mentioned the comedy. Let's talk about more about Beerus himself. He might actually be my favorite antagonist in the entire Dragon Ball Z franchise because you say he's not a villain. I like to see him more as an anti-villain. He's a destroyer. He has a temper. Um, he'll destroy you if you have a shitty party. He'll come in uninvited, and if he comes into your party uninvited, you better well damn please him. But other than that, he's not as cold-hearted or just destructive like the past few villains in the Deep Dragon Ball franchise. He was no Frieza, Cell, or Majin Buu, and that's what I liked about him. There was something about him that you can respect as a very powerful being.
Like his whole God of Destruction thing was the way he went about it was really interesting. As I said before, for his reasons just for destroying planet Vegeta was because he didn't like the direction the Saiyan race was going in terms of them being barbarians, which is why he got Frieza to do it. But he also said he wanted to destroy Frieza as well because Frieza was no better in his mind.
But then it turns out that he found out that Frieza was killed by Goku. Uh, but he also he just had a really interesting person. And at the end of the movie, he actually wins the fight. He
Yeah.
beats Goku. Which shocked the hell out of me because I thought this would be one of those films. I didn't expect Beerus to die or be destroyed or anything at the end. I expected him to lose, but he didn't. What happened was he decided to do a finishing attack where he summons a giant energy ball, which actually looks like the sun, and with the effects they have nowadays, it looks really nice. Um, Throws it towards the planet's direction. Goku fights it off, and he managed for like a split second absorb all the energy, but then it just knocked him out. He was completely exhausted, and Beerus and Goku's like, "Why'd you stop?" And Beerus is like, "Well, I just want you to say that you give up." And he's like, "Fine, I give up." And they have a little conversation about how Beerus himself is actually not the most powerful being on the planet. His assistant, Whis, I think that's how you pronounce his name, right?
No. Well, what I believe it
Well,
said.
he said
What
he
is
was
it's like?
actually more powerful than him, and he was.
It was more like this. He said, "You are the second hardest fight I ever had. This guy here, who goes around and acts like my assistant, is actually my teacher, which means he defeated his teacher once."
Hmm. Um. So yeah, and then it turns out that he's like one of 12 different destroyer gods in different dimensions.
Yeah, each universe. There are 12 universes, and each one has their own strongest.
Which sounds like they're expanding more of the material, hopefully for more Dragon Ball stuff, because that does sound a little bit interesting. And so, yeah, they have a conversation, and he was actually being a gentleman about it. And he's like, "So you're not going to destroy the Earth? Oh no, I'm still going to destroy the Earth." So he brings Goku down, everyone to the a rock canyon. It's one of three places you can have a fight in Dragon Ball Z. And he's like, "Well, I'm off to destroy the world." And he charges up for attack, and all he does is just shoot a rock.
Okay, I'm done.
He's like, "Okay, I'm done destroying the Earth. All right, I'll come to I'll come to your party next year, and hopefully there'll be pudding."
You better give me some pudding. Okay, but don't complain if you don't like it.
That was another thing. Like, he had an interest in food that made him kind of like the anti-Goku in a way.
Basically, like he has the same eating habits as Goku. In a way, he almost has a similar personality to how he acts.
Yeah. It's he even mentioned at one point that he could be a god of destruction. He's like, "Yeah, if it's possible, you could be Goku the Destroyer." Uh, let's see. There was something else I was thinking about when I was talking about Beerus. Another funny thing. They kept showing citizens and outsiders' perspectives to the situation going on at Capsule Corp. Uh, the explosions, the dragons, and I just love when one of the explosions went off in midair. There were some people in the city looking like, "What the heck is that?" And some police officers like, "It's probably those Capsule Corps guys testing out explosives without permit." The second time, it's like, "Man, those Capsule Corps guys sure know how to throw a party. Damn rich people." Hmm.
Uh,
Let's see.
wow, it's like they're giving away a castle, and then Pilaf is like, "God damn it, these rich people! I'm gonna go tag all their stuff."
Yeah, and he does.
I was more surprised he didn't turn the plane into like put the Nazi symbol on the airplane.
Oh, yeah, the World War One plane.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Damn it, lost my train of thought on one other thing that I wanted to mention. Oh yeah. Surprisingly, this is not. This is the overall tone. If you haven't tell from here in this video, the overall tone of this movie was actually very, very lighthearted. Um, Not that Dragon Ball Z has been super dark and edgy, but it had a lot of dark points. You know, with characters getting killed off left and right, and planets being threatened. And the planet was threatened in this movie, but the way it was handled, like you notice when Goku and Beerus were fighting a little bit in the city, they did not hit anything. They did
Yeah,
not hit a car, a building. They managed to successfully dodge everything. Beerus himself too. Most villains would just punch through skyscrapers, not giving a shit, trying to hit Goku in the face.
which shows how respectful Beerus actually was.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the examples of the lighthearted tone. We mentioned the comedy and the antagonist himself, but yeah, that was I was well surprised I was just really surprised by that tone. Um, it's in a way kind of making Man of Steel look bad because they fucking wrecked the entire city on a few fights. These guys didn't wreck anything.
So, so can Superman still be Goku? Hmm.
Oh, we're bringing that shit up again.
Oh, then if someone would, it's like, yeah. Well, what happens if he goes in the sun? Oh yeah, well now he can turn into a god. But I guess that doesn't count since it's not his own power.
Hmm. Um. So that's really all I have to say about the movie itself. I did not even expect Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods to come out this year. The way Kaiser Neko and a few other people were talking, I thought the film wasn't even going to show up till like what 2016, 2017.
Yeah. The
Because
DVD comes out in October.
that's good. I'm picking that. I'm picking that up because it's a good movie. I'm pretty sure my friends who also grew up with a little bit of Dragon Ball Z would enjoy it. Um, But yeah, it was still published by Fox. I still saw their logo at the start of the movie, and all I could think was "Boo, Dragon Ball Evolution." So yeah, that was kind of the reason why people did not expect to see that movie in a long time because of Fox, still having the license, and they're just gonna wait till it expires. But that didn't seem to be the case. They probably saw quick dollar signs on it, and I didn't even expect this to air in a theater near me.
Yeah, like we never get anything from where we're from. All the good stuff either gets put to Texas or like Florida.
It may be New York and maybe Los Angeles, but no, not here in Louisiana. It was actually shown in a few other theaters closer to where I live, but I decided to take the trek with you because I'd rather see this with some other friends instead of just by myself.
And it was a nice movie theater.
Oh yeah, the movie theater is awesome. They actually show classic movies in theaters. Apparently, The Big Lebowski is showing tonight at that theater, which would be a fun thing to watch with my friends since most of us do like that movie. But that was fun. We couldn't even find. We had to make sure that we were actually in the right theater because like most theaters when they actually show you what's airing at the entrance, they didn't do it with us. But it was like, are you sure this is the theater that they're showing? They're not advertising it. And you were like, it's okay. It's okay. Once we see somebody in a Goku shirt, we'll know we're there. We go into the theater, we sit down. 5 minutes later, okay, we're here. We see a guy with a Goku shirt walking in. uh, but really, that's all I got to say about Dragon Ball Z. My thoughts on it, despite a few bit of cons, I thought this movie was really, really fun. Stay true to Dragon Ball Z. Kind of semi-nostalgic. I say semi-nostalgic because Dragon Ball Z is still a franchise that they seem to be pumping life into. They've been doing it with video games, but they seem to be pumping even more life into with re-releases like Kai and future projects like this. So I can't really say it's that nostalgic since it was still going on, but it did bring back some fond, memories of me enjoying anime. That's for sure. So if it's still showing in a theater and you want to see it this week, I say watch it as soon as possible. If not, wait till you get it on DVD or Blu-ray and watch it there. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, of course. Uh, and if it's really not that good of a film, it will at least wash the taste of Dragon Ball Evolution out of your mouths. Because I am done hearing about how shitty that film is. Everyone knows it's a bad film. Can we just forget about it? I mean, it's been like 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. And I've seen the film in theaters. I did not. Don't ask why. my friend and I were just like drunk one day. Let's go see Dragon Ball Evolution. We gotta riff this film. It's gonna be shit. Okay.
I guess you can say that was the worst possible wish.
Oh, great Shenron. Reboot Dragon Ball Z into Dragon Ball Evolution. No! Your wish granted. Okay, well,
Man, okay. Well, really quick on that, we skipped that part. We actually got to see Shinron freaking out.
Oh, yeah, even he was freaked out by the appearance of Beerus himself.
And that was just really entertaining.
That was, yes, it was. It's like, oh god, Beerus is here. Oh gosh.
So hey, I heard things about you.
Can you just tell us what this Super Saiyan God is? He really wants to know.
Well, okay, sure. You want 500 wishes? I'll give you those.
Oh yeah, that was a great moment. You got your final thoughts? Because I'm ready to wrap this video up.
Okay, this felt like the perfect reigniting of Dragon Ball as a whole for me, because it felt like a good balance between the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
All right. Well, that's all I gotta say. Leave a comment if you wish. What are your thoughts of Battle of Gods if you've seen the movie? With that, Darkscream217 signing out.
Lindsay, catch you later.
All right.